Welcome to Unlocking Passion. Men Report. Let's begin with a new true story. Michael Carter returned from the hospital and found his house empty. 240,000 euros were gone. The 19-year-old woman he had called his second chance had run off with everything he had saved in 45 years as an auto mechanic. He stood in the stripped house in Pattaya, staring at the bare walls where photos of the two of them used to hang. His phone showed bank statements that nearly stopped his heart. Every euro he had saved since he was 25 years old was gone. He was 69 years old, 12,000 kilometers from Boston, with 800 euros left in his account and no clear way back. The woman who had called him Papa Mike and promised she would stay with him forever had left him behind like a piece of trash. But 9 months earlier, sitting in his cold apartment in Boston and spending his first birthday without his late wife Helen, Michael had no idea what was coming. 9 months earlier, he believed Thailand would save him from the loneliness that was slowly crushing him. He believed he was about to live again. Instead, he walked straight into the most expensive mistake of his life. If you enjoy the stories I create, please consider pressing the subscribe button. Your support is essential for helping this channel grow and for allowing me to keep making these videos despite working a full-time job. Thank you for being here. My name is Michael Carter. I turned 69 on a gray February morning in 2024, alone in my apartment in Boston. My wife Helen had died 8 years earlier. Ever since then, the apartment had felt too big, too empty, too full of memories. Helen and I had been married for 42 years. We had built our repair shop together, Carter Auto Repair. I was the mechanic and she ran the office. We raised 2 children, Jennifer, now 46 and living in Chicago, and Daniel, 43 and working in Seattle. When Helen died of cancer, my world fell apart. Not dramatically, not all at once, but slowly, like a building collapsing one piece at a time. I kept working at the shop, came home at night, ate alone, slept alone, and repeated it all again the next day. The kids called. Jennifer called every week, Daniel less often, but they had their own lives, their own families. I was the old father they worried about, but did not really need. At 65, I retired and sold the shop to a younger mechanic for 120,000 euros. My pension was 2,300 euros a month. Enough to live, but not enough to really live. Over the years, I had saved carefully and with discipline. There was the life insurance payout after Helen died. There was the sale of our house in Boston after I could no longer bear living there alone. There were savings accounts I had never touched. Altogether, I had 340,000 euros, more money than I had ever possessed at one time. Enough to live comfortably until I was 90 if I was careful. Or enough to lose everything if I was stupid. The winters in Boston were brutal. Dark by 4 in the afternoon. Freezing wind cutting through the streets. Gray sky, gray snow, gray people. I spent entire days without leaving the apartment, watching television I barely noticed. Loneliness sat on my chest like a weight. It was no longer the sharp grief of the first years after Helen's death. It had become something darker, the realization that this was all my life would be. I would spend the rest of it alone in a cold city waiting to die. I tried to be social again. I met old friends from the shop, but they only talked about their grandchildren, their trips with their wives, their plans. I had nothing to add except stories about my dead wife. One sleepless night in March, desperate and restless, I started watching YouTube videos about living abroad. The algorithm led me to Thailand. American expats in Bangkok and Pattaya talked about the weather, the low cost of living, the friendly people, but also something else. Older foreign men with young Thai women, couples who looked happy, who laughed, who seemed to be living real lives. I told myself that was not why I was interested. I told myself it was the culture, the adventure, the chance to be somewhere warm and alive. But late at night, alone in my cold apartment, I thought about companionship. I thought about being wanted again. I thought about mattering to someone. Thailand began to feel less like a place and more like an answer. In April, I sold my apartment. It went for 250,000 euros. After fees, I was left with 212,000. My total assets were now 352,000 euros. Enough to live like a king in Thailand. Enough to spend the rest of my life in sunlight and warmth. Or enough to lose everything in 9 months. Jennifer called when she found out. She sounded worried. "Dad, what are you doing? Where are you going to live?" "Thailand. Pattaya. I'm retiring for real." There was a long pause. "Dad, you've never even been to Thailand. You don't speak Thai." "If I don't like it, I'll come back." "But I can't stay here, Jennifer. This city, this apartment, everything reminds me of your mother. I'm drowning here." "I understand, but please be careful, especially with money. I've heard stories about foreigners getting scammed in Thailand." "I'm not stupid. I worked in a repair shop for 45 years. I know a scammer when I see one." Famous last words. I sold or donated most of my belongings. 45 years of life packed into 2 suitcases. I kept some photographs, important documents, and Helen's wedding ring hanging from a chain around my neck. On May 15, 2024, I locked my empty apartment, took a taxi to the airport, and boarded a flight to Bangkok. 2 suitcases. A one-way ticket. Hundreds of thousands of euros in the bank. Everything I had ever known left behind. When the plane took off, Boston disappeared beneath the clouds. I ordered a beer from the flight attendant and tried to feel excited instead of terrified. The heat in Bangkok was overwhelming. 36 degrees at midnight, with humidity so thick that breathing felt like swimming. After years of cold New England weather, the heat felt almost violent. I had booked a hotel in Pattaya based on expat YouTube videos. A beach city 2 hours south of Bangkok, popular with retirees. The taxi from the airport cost 2,000 baht, about 50 euros. Expensive, but I was too exhausted from the flight to argue. We drove through the night past industrial areas and sleeping towns until the highway opened and I saw the ocean, a dark mass reflecting city lights. Then suddenly we were on Beach Road, surrounded by neon signs, bars with girls standing outside, massage shops glowing pink, and convenience stores on every corner. It was overwhelming, chaotic, nothing like quiet Boston. And part of me loved it immediately. The energy, the life, the feeling that something was actually happening here. My hotel was called the Sunshine Palace, a mid-range place on 2nd Road. The lobby was cool and bright, with white tile floors and potted palms. A young Thai woman at reception checked me in with a smile that seemed genuine. My room was small but clean. Double bed, tiny bathroom, balcony overlooking the street. I stood on that balcony in the warm night air, watching the neon lights below, and felt something in my chest I had not felt in years. Hope. I spent my first week simply existing. I walked on the beach at sunrise when it was quieter. I found breakfast spots serving Western breakfasts beside Thai dishes. I explored Walking Street, bars and clubs packed together, girls everywhere. I felt out of place there. Too old, too neat, too American. But there were other older expats too, British, German, American men my age or older, often with young Thai women on their arms. Everything was cheap. A full breakfast cost 80 baht, about 2 euros. Beer was 40 baht. My hotel room cost 800 baht a night, around 20 euros. I kept doing the math. If I rented an apartment for 10,000 baht a month, around 250 euros, and spent another 15,000 on food and daily life, I could live comfortably on 25,000 baht a month, Around €625. My pension covered nearly 3 times that. The €352,000 I had saved could last decades if I was careful. But the loneliness remained. I watched couples, old foreign men with young Thai women, and felt that familiar ache. I ate dinner alone while families laughed at neighboring tables. I lay awake at night in my hotel room, reaching for Helen out of habit. During my second week, I started apartment hunting. I needed my own place, something that felt like home. I looked at a dozen units. Some were too expensive, some were too run down, some were in neighborhoods that felt unsafe. Finally, I found a studio in a building off Soi Buahao. Nothing fancy, but clean. Furnished with a bed, a sofa, a small kitchen, and a balcony. 12,000 baht a month, around €300. I signed a 6-month lease. Having my own place helped. I could cook when I wanted to. I could make familiar meals when homesickness hit. I started building routines, morning walks, lunch in the same restaurants, evenings with downloaded television shows. But I was still alone. Still invisible. Still wondering whether coming to Thailand had been a mistake. Then I met Lily. My first real night in Pattaya's bar scene came during my 4th week. I had avoided that part of town, uncomfortable with the entire setup. But one evening, lonely and restless, I walked down Soi Buahao until I found a place that looked less intimidating than the rest. It was called Happy Days, a typical Pattaya beer bar with open sides, a pool table, a few high tables, and girls sitting on stools staring at their phones. The music was not too loud. It felt calmer than the other places. I sat at the bar. An older Thai woman, the mama-san who ran the place, smiled at me. First time here? Yes. I moved here a few weeks ago. Welcome to Pattaya. What would you like to drink? A Chang beer, please. One of the girls walked over. She was young, maybe 19, with long black hair tied back in a ponytail. She wore jean shorts and a plain white top, less flashy than the others. Hello, she said shyly. You are from America? How did you know? I hear your accent. American accent sounds different. She smiled. My name is Nareen, but everyone calls me Lily. I'm Michael. Nice to meet you, Michael. She sat beside me without asking, which I later learned was normal. You live in Pattaya now? I'm trying it. I'm from Boston. I just retired. Needed a change. Boston. I know Boston. Big city. America history. I laughed. Yeah, that's right. You know a little. I like learning geography. I dream of visiting America one day. We talked for 3 hours. She told me she came from a village in Isan, Thailand's poor northeastern region. Her father had died when she was 10. Her mother was sick. Lily had come to Pattaya a year earlier to work and send money home. I do not like working in bar, she said, looking down. But money better here than in village. I send 20,000 baht every month to family. Help with medicine. Help my little sister stay in school. That's a lot of responsibility for someone your age, I said. I am oldest daughter. My duty. I bought her a few lady drinks. She never pushed for more. She just talked and laughed at my stories about running a repair shop in Boston. You are funny, man, she said. Kind. Most customers only want boom boom, but you talk like I am real person. I'm too old for boom boom, sweetheart. She smiled. You not old. You handsome, like American movie actor. Something warm spread through my chest, something I had not felt since Helen died. Someone thought I was handsome. Someone enjoyed my company. Someone saw me. Can I see you again? I asked when the bar closed around 1 in the morning. Tomorrow, maybe? You really want to see me again? I do. Her smile widened. I like that very much. I do not work tomorrow afternoon. We meet and go to the beach. We exchanged numbers. I walked back to my apartment feeling lighter than I had in months. I had someone to meet. Someone who smiled when I spoke. Someone who made the loneliness feel less crushing. The next afternoon, Lily met me at Pattaya Beach. She had changed into a summer dress, her hair loose. We walked along the sand, found a quieter spot, and sat talking for hours. She told me more about her family. Her mother needed expensive medicine not covered by Thailand's health system. Her younger sister was 15, still in school, dreaming of college. They were barely surviving on what Lily sent home. "How much does your mother's medicine cost?" I asked. "Too much. Maybe 5,000 baht every month. But I do not ask you for help. I only tell you my life. I know you're not asking. But 5,000 baht is only 125 euros. That's nothing for me." Tears filled her eyes. "Why you want help? You just know me. Because you're working in a bar, you hate to help your family. If I can make things easier, why wouldn't I?" She hugged me suddenly, tightly, genuinely. "You very good man, Michael. Best man I ever meet." We became inseparable. Lily finished work around midnight, and I would meet her. We ate at street stalls, sat on the beach until dawn, slept together in my apartment. Within 2 weeks, she started calling me Papa Mike. "My Papa Mike's so handsome," she would say, kissing my cheek. "My Papa Mike takes good care of me." It felt fast. I knew it was fast. But after months of suffocating loneliness, having someone who wanted to be with me felt like oxygen after drowning. Lily quit the bar after 3 weeks. I gave the Mama-san 5,000 baht, about 125 euros, as compensation for losing a worker. The Mama-san smiled knowingly. "Take care of her. She is a good girl." Life with Lily felt easy. She woke before me, made coffee, cooked breakfast, sometimes Thai food, sometimes attempted American breakfasts, with mixed success. She cleaned while I read the news on my laptop. We spent afternoons exploring Pattaya or relaxing by the beach. I gave her 25,000 baht a month, around 625 euros. 20,000 for her mother and sister, 5,000 for herself. She was always grateful, always said it was too much. After a month she moved in completely, bringing her clothes, her small Buddha statue, and her personal things. She made a little prayer corner where she lit incense every morning. It felt domestic, real, like I had a partner again. My daughter Jennifer noticed the change. She called me in August. "Dad, you sound different. Happier." "I am happy. I met someone in Thailand." "That's great. Tell me about her." "Her name is Lily. She's Thai, 19 years old, used to work in a restaurant. She's really sweet, innocent, nothing like the stereotypes." There was a long silence. 19? "Dad, that is 50 years younger than you." "I know how old she is. She's with me because she wants to be, not because of my age or my money. I'm sure she's nice, but please be careful. I've heard too many stories about foreigners being scammed. Lily is not a scammer. She left the bar. She lives with me. This is real, Jennifer." "Okay. I'm glad you're happy. Just promise me you'll be smart with money." "I'm always smart with money." That, of course, was a lie, though I believed it at the time. In September, 4 months after I met Lily, she brought up something new. "Michael, I think about our future." "What about it?" "I do not want live forever in your small apartment. You deserve better. Nice house. Real home. A house is expensive. Not here. We can rent nice house, 2 bedrooms, garden, maybe 30,000 baht monthly. Much better than apartment. We looked at houses for a week and finally found a beautiful place in a quiet neighborhood. 2 bedrooms, a small garden, parking space. The rent was 35,000 baht a month, about 875 euros. More than I wanted to spend, but Lily loved it. This, our home, Papa Mike. Real home, for real family. I signed a 1-year lease and paid 6 months up front, 210,000 baht, around 5,250 euros. Lily cried with happiness. Then she mentioned the cafe. Papa Mike, I have dream. What kind of dream? I want small cafe. Nothing big. Just sweet place with good coffee, nice cakes. Place where people feel happy. That sounds nice, but cafes are expensive to open. I know. That why only dream. She looked sad. I never have enough money for it. Over the next weeks, she mentioned the cafe more and more. She showed me photos of cute cafes in Bangkok and talked about her vision. Thai coffee, American cakes, cozy seating. What would it cost to open something like that? I asked. Too much. Maybe 2 million baht for everything. Rent, equipment, furniture, permits. 2 million baht was around 50,000 euros. A lot of money. But I still had over 300,000. If I invested 50,000, I would still have 250,000 left. And if the cafe worked, we could have income together. What if we do it together? I said. Her eyes widened. You mean that? Really? Why not? You have the vision. I have business experience. We could build something beautiful together. She started crying. No one ever believe in me like this. No one ever want help me. We started planning. We searched for locations and found a good place near 2nd Road. Ground floor, good location, 50 square meters. The rent was 40,000 baht a month, 1,000 euros. Renovation would cost 800,000 baht, 20,000 euros. Equipment another 700,000. Furniture, permits, and initial inventory another 500,000. Total, 2 million baht. 50,000 euros. I transferred the money in October. Lily said it had to be in her name because foreigners could not legally own businesses without complicated arrangements. But we are partners, she said. What is mine is yours. I believed her. That was the moment I lost everything. The cafe took longer than expected. Lily said finding the right space was difficult. Permits took time. Renovation was delayed. Every month there was a new problem. Meanwhile, more money disappeared. Her mother needed emergency surgery, 60,000 baht. Her sister needed a computer for school. The roof on the family house was leaking. Every request came with urgency. Everyone sounded believable. Everyone ate away at my savings. By November, I had spent 110,000 euros. 50,000 for the cafe. 20,000 for family emergencies. 40,000 for the house and our life together. I had 242,000 euros left. I tried to talk to Lily about slowing down. We're spending faster than I'm comfortable with. The cafe almost ready. Just 1 more month and we start making money. You said that last month. Things take time. You want me rush and make mistakes. We argued more often, about money, about the constant requests, about why she was always on the phone speaking Thai. She got defensive. She accused me of not trusting her. You think I am like other girls, she shouted once. You think I trick you, but I really love you. And I would apologize, because I wanted her happy, because accepting that I was being conned was too painful. Jennifer called in December. Dad, how are you? Really? I'm okay. Just stressed with the business. What business? Lily and I are opening a cafe together. Silence. How much have you invested? That's not your business. It absolutely is my business. You're my father, and I'm worried about you. About 110,000 euros so far. Jesus Christ. Dad, that's a third of your savings. Do you at least have legal documents? Anything proving you own part of it? It's in Lily's name, but we're partners. Dad, she said, her voice breaking, please tell me you kept some money separate. Something she can't touch. I have enough. Please come home before you lose everything. I'm not losing anything. Lily loves me. But the doubts kept growing, especially when I got sick in January. I developed a high fever in the middle of the month. I could barely stand, barely breathe. Lily insisted I go to the hospital. We went to Bangkok Hospital Pattaya. The doctors diagnosed severe pneumonia. They wanted to keep me for at least 5 days, maybe a week, depending on how I responded to antibiotics. Lily was perfect the first day. She sat by my bed, held my hand, brought me soup. She looked genuinely worried. On the second day, she said she needed to go home and pick up some things. I bring your clothes and other things from house. You rest. I come back tonight. Okay, I said. My fever had broken, but I was still weak. She kissed my forehead. I never leave you, Papa Mike. You, my husband forever. She did not come back that night. Or the next day. Or the day after that. I tried calling her. Her phone was off. I texted. No answer. I called the house. Nobody picked up. On the fourth day, weak and frightened, I convinced a nurse to help me get a taxi. I left the hospital against medical advice and went home. The front door was unlocked. I stepped inside and knew immediately that something was wrong. The house was empty. Not empty of people. Empty of everything. The furniture was gone. The television was gone. The kitchenware was gone. Lily's clothes were gone. Even the photos of us from the walls were gone. I walked through the empty rooms, breathing in short gasps that had nothing to do with pneumonia. I pulled out my phone with shaking hands and opened my banking app. German bank account, 800 euros. Thai account, 0. She had taken everything. 240,000 euros. In 5 days, while I lay in a hospital bed, she had drained my accounts and vanished with everything I had saved in 45 years. I tried calling again. Phone off. I texted again. Messages would not go through. I checked social media. Everything was deleted, or I had been blocked. Lily was gone. Completely gone. I sat down on the bare floor of the empty house and finally let myself feel the full weight of what had happened. I called the police. They arrived an hour later, 2 officers who looked completely unsurprised by my story. Your girlfriend take money and go? One of them asked in broken English. Yes. Everything. 240,000 euros. They took notes, looked at my bank statements, examined the empty house. Difficult situation, one said. She your girlfriend, not wife. Thai law complicated. If you give access to account, maybe legal. She didn't take it. She stole it. You give her access. I tried to remember. Lily had asked me to add her details to various accounts so she could help in emergencies. I had done it because I trusted her. Maybe, I said quietly. I don't remember exactly. The officer shook his head. If you give access, then legal problem complicated. Maybe not moral, but difficult. Can you find her? We try, but very hard. If she leave Pattaya, if she use false name, very difficult. They took my statement. I never heard from them again. I went to Happy Days, the bar where I had met Lily. The mama-san recognized me. You looking for Lily? Yes. Where is she? The mama-san shrugged. She stopped long time ago. I not know where she go. She didn't just leave. She stole everything from me. The mama-san's face hardened. I know nothing about that. Girls come, girls go. Not my business what they do outside bar. I stood there uselessly. She had probably seen this dozens of times. She may even have been part of the setup. I had no proof. Only humiliation. I went back to the empty house after dark and wondered what the hell I was supposed to do. The rent was paid through March. After that, I would need somewhere else to live. I had 800 euros left. No real options. No girlfriend. No future. I sat on the floor and cried. Great painful sobs that made my chest ache. Helen's ring hung against my chest, and I whispered apologies to her ghost. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I threw away everything we built. Everything you worked for. I'm sorry. The lease ended in March. I could not afford to renew it. I moved into a guest house on Soi Buhao, a rundown place where rooms cost 4,000 baht a month, about 100 euros. My room was tiny. Mattress on a concrete floor. Broken fan. Shared bathroom down the hall. But it was shelter. It was survival. My money evaporated. Food, rent, phone credit, even living cheaply, it disappeared fast. By April, I was down to 300 euros. I tried to find work, but who hires an older American man in Thailand with no Thai language, no work permit, and no useful skills for the local market? I put up flyers offering English tutoring 500 baht an hour. I got one student, a Thai businessman, and he disappeared after 2 lessons. I took odd jobs when I could find them. Helping expats move furniture. Proofreading documents. Anything that paid cash. I earned maybe 2,000 baht a month, around 50 euros. Not even close to enough. I called Jennifer and confessed everything. Every euro lost. Every mistake. She was silent for a long time after I finished. Dad, I am so sorry. I tried to warn you. I know. I want to help, but we're struggling too. The mortgage. The kids' school expenses. I can send 500 euros a month. That's all I can manage. That's too much, Jennifer. I can't. You don't have a choice. You're my father. I'm not leaving you homeless in Thailand. She started sending 500 euros every month. Combined with my odd jobs, I had about 600 euros a month. Just enough to survive. Barely. I applied for my pension early at 69, reduced benefits. I could not wait until 72. I would get about 1,300 euros a month starting in 3 months. Enough to rent a small room, eat decently, and survive with some dignity. But I would never have savings again. Never have real security again. I would spend the rest of my life living month to month. I have been in Pattaya for 9 months now. My pension began 3 months ago, 1,300 euros a month. I rented a tiny studio for 5,000 baht, around 120 euros. It is not nice, but it is mine. I am 69 now. I have lost weight. My hair has gone completely gray. I look older than 69. I look exactly like what I am, a broken man who bet everything on love and lost. Sometimes I think about Lily. I wonder whether she ever felt anything real for me, or whether every moment was performance. The mornings we drank coffee together. The evenings we cooked. The nights she curled against me and whispered that she loved me. Was any of it real? I know the answer. It was all performance, carefully calculated to make me believe I had found something real. Jennifer calls every week now. She feels guilty. She thinks she should have pushed harder to stop me. You tried to warn me, I tell her. I didn't listen. That's on me, not you. Now I help other men at the guest house. We get scam victims regularly. Men who lost everything to Thai women who seemed real. I listen to their stories, make them tea, and tell them they will survive. Does it get easier? They ask. No, I tell them honestly. You just learn how to carry it. Sometimes I touch Helen's ring. I sold almost everything else, but I kept that. I think about how hard she worked to support our family, and how disappointed she would be that I threw it all away. I'm sorry, Helen. I wasted everything we built. But sometimes I think maybe she would understand. Maybe she would see that I was not chasing youth or sex. I was chasing hope. I was trying to survive the loneliness that threatened to kill me after she died by finding something, anything, that made life feel worth living again. Lily knew exactly what I needed to believe, and she gave it to me perfectly until my bank account was empty. My pension gives me enough to survive, but not enough to live. I will never have savings again. I will never have security again. I will die in this little room in Pattaya, alone and broke, a warning to other men. The sun sets over Pattaya. My studio cools down after the heat of the day. In an hour, I will lie down on my mattress and try to sleep despite the motorcycles outside and the weight of everything I have lost. Tomorrow I will wake up and survive another day. I will help another broken man understand that survival is possible, even when you have lost everything. Because that is all that remains now. Survival. One day at a time. That is Michael Carter's story. A warning written in bank statements, empty houses, and shattered dreams. A reminder that loneliness makes you vulnerable, and some people can smell vulnerability like blood in water. I went looking for love and found my ending in a smile. I hope your story ends better than mine.